don't know me, I'm not from here. I have been here for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Admittedly, I was a traveler that came through town, didn't really expect to stay here very long, and then I met the person that I'm with and decided to stay and stick around, you know, and so I have become a part of this community. Sorry. And I've met a lot of people, and I feel very grateful to have the type of rapport that I have with people in this community, because I feel like it's a very special place. And something that I had a concern about recently was the quality of the water. And so I came to the water office respectfully with my complaints. And I was met with a very dismissive, very disrespectful, in my opinion, attitude when I came as I'm speaking to you all, as just somebody that's concerned about the water. We all pay full price for our water bills. We all eat the cost of water bottles for cooking, drinking, things like that. But we all also have, if you'll entertain me for a moment, our largest organ, which is our skin. And it's also our most absorptive organ. And this is something that we can't avoid, showering in the water. And so even though we will all eat the cost of the water to cook and drink, it doesn't feel fair that we are all subject to pay full price for something that seems to, in my research recently, because this interaction upset me, so I've been doing a little bit of research, and I found out this has been a problem for a very long time. I've been consulting people in the community, and if anybody would like to speak to me about it, I'm more than open and willing to hear anyone's concerns, because I've developed health issues that I found out are consistent with overexposure to toxic chemicals that have been in our water for a very long time. And I think something needs to be done about it. And I'm absolutely more than willing to help in any way that I can, because I have a lot of free time. I work at a farm, and I produce the most organic produce we can for the community, you know, and we sell it at the farmer's market. And I work in some of the buildings, construction-wise, and I just really like the people here. So I feel that it's not fair for me. I don't deserve it personally, and I don't think anybody else here does, especially people with their children, to be exposed to these forever chemicals and have an attitude of almost dismissive, you're a peasant, you're below me. I was told that I can leave the town if I don't like the way the water is done. And that was extremely frustrating to me. And I know there's been some type of dispute on whether or not that's what I actually said, but I document everything that is important to me. So I have documentation of this and everything that was said. So I just wanted to address that. And like I said, I am absolutely more than willing to work with you all. I have free time. And this is something I feel really passionate about, because like I said, I'm not sure if I said this, but I've developed a sickness that I have a very big hospital bill for. And the lack of compassion, understanding, or desire to hear anything about it was very concerning to me. So I think I can speak for myself, and at least personally, about 60 people I've spoken to in the community personally that are willing to back me on this. So this is something that I am very passionate about fixing, and I would like help on this issue, because I don't have the choice to leave just like that. So I will absolutely be doing everything I can in my power to fix the issue, because I think it's kind of a thing where there's a certain level of damage that has been done, and maybe we can't go back from that, and maybe that's something that's frustrating, but realistically, we can stop the damage from continuing, and then hopefully try to address whatever has been done. And I think that I'm not alone in these frustrations, and I very much appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's not your pen. It's not your pen.
Liana, how do you spell your last name?
Cahill.
What day did you go into the office, do you know?
That was, yeah, it's Juliana. And my middle name is Grace. It was Wednesday,
The 23rd?
yes. And it was at 11:38 a.m. And if there's any dispute on anything that I have to say, I'm sure this is a public office that has security cameras, and I'm sure those could very easily be pulled up to see if the reaction I had was as much of a tirade as my family members were called about and told from the person I spoke to at the window, which I'm sure at best is a conflict of interest, and at worst is probably something illegal. So I definitely will be looking into that also. Thank you.
Luke?
Yes. I was wanting some water. In our new shop. When I moved from over by Cooper's, over by the airport, there's water at the ag farm. We were seeing if we could get water ran down to buy from the city for use down south of the ag farm.
You did.
But I can show you this. That's where our yard is now.
It's within city limits.
So it's in the ETJ,
Yeah.
but it doesn't touch me.
Okay.
But we're willing to pay.
How, do you know how far it is?
I mean, to get onto my property is literally. I mean, I don't know exactly what water line is up here. 30 feet or something?
Oh, not far. Not hundreds of yards. Not half a mile. Okay. Would we have to put that on the agenda? Because we have a meeting just in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is just preliminary, just to kind of heads up, would, you know, if there's no objection from you guys, we'd put it on the agenda for 2 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, I have no objection.
So excuse me,
I was just gonna ask, the use of the water,
It's just office use.
general plumbing?
Right.
Okay,
Flush a toilet. Drink and
so
shower.
you need separate outside?
No.
Okay.
So, in the future, if we could sell 5 acres or whatever, and we could have a water tap possibly, but only for office space, not anything other than office space. For like a storage unit or anything like that. But for now, the main purpose would be for our use of the shop.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
no, that clarified it. I wasn't sure what you were asking for, but I understand now. Thank you.
Thanks.
All righty, thank y'all.
Mrs. Harden, did you want to speak?
Actually, I'm gonna let my husband go first, and then I'll cover it for Grace.
You're not that.
I'm not scared to speak in public.
All right.
Love that.
Just y'all cut me off.
Not
every
usually
minute.
I'm rusty.
That's what a
but-
preacher does. We have several things. One of the things I want to address is, I don't know how many months ago we came to the city council and asked for sewer down at Morgan Shady Park. It was voted on, it was approved. And y'all had asked for a general cost. I gave that to Ms. Garvine. And then I get told, nope, we can't do it because Jerry Don's throwing a fit. I don't really care if Jerry gone through a fit. He's not with us anymore. Don't mean to speak bad about somebody that's not here anymore. But it was voted on to do it. I need sewer down there. Right now, we've been real busy. It's still working. But every bit of that water, that's all sandy, gravelly soil. Guess where it's going? Anybody have a guess where it's going?
Our water.
Is it
You're
our
drinking
water?
it, buddy.
It's our water
Oh, we're not
supply?
drinking it.
You're
We're not
drinking
drinking
it.
it. But best believe the people at the water office drink it from the tap. Their own words. They drink it from the tap. Have you ever met somebody in this town that drinks their water from the tap?
Yeah.
That doesn't have a well? You do.
Do y'all have
And do you
filters?
ever have any type of sickness or?
Okay,
Okay, let's get back on task.
thank you.
That's interesting.
So,
I have
You know,
one person.
4th of July
I
weekend,
got 4.
we were past capacity. We had 30 people on the waiting list wanting to get in. Every lift station that we have down there was pumping every bit that it could. Our system, luckily I know who put it in, so it's working. But it's like anything else. It's, you know, if it starts raining a lot more, then, you know, we're gonna be in trouble. So, I guess what I'm asking is, what's the game plan? You know, it's coming back up on winter. I've got a lot of work. I had time to do it, and now it's gonna be pushing, but we typically are a little slower during winter, but I would like to get this in. Like I say, it was voted on to do it. There's plenty of presidents to take, you know, to do this. It's not impossible to do. Y'all have the power to do it. So I'm just asking to do what y'all agreed and voted to do. That's all I'm asking. Okay. Thank you. No, I'll let you do that. There'll be plenty of that later.
Well, and I have to be honest, I'm Cindy Harvey Point. I'm not up on the water thing. I do know in the past though that I've gotten notices that the water really is not something you should be drinking.
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate you saying that. I
think
do.
that's- I bought bottled water after that, and we have filters at our house as well. I have a connection for the good filters and stuff like that. But I think it's shameful that in 2025, you don't have to say drinking water
Yeah.
supply. And that's all I have to say about that. My concern is these ordinances. Being an RV park, just about everything on here. We're not paved, we don't wanna be paved. The beauty of Morgan Shady Park is we are built into the natural hill, we have pecan trees, we start paving it, and there will be no pecan trees. But we have to have trees, and 5 shrubs. And enough lot area in each spot, the same as you would for a manufactured home or mobile home. Just, I don't know where this all came from. I don't know who came up with this. But there are so many things wrong with it. That I have to have a fence between me and my neighbors, whether my neighbors care for it or not. And Morgan Shady's been there since the 50s,
Early 50s.
75 years, let's give or take, couple. Any fence we put all the way down to the river will wash out, probably once a year, and you'll be pulling it out of the dam. Cause we all know no matter what kind of fence you put in, it will wash out. to get buffers, I understand there are places in this town that have RVs that are an embarrassment. I get that. I'd rather that wasn't there too. It's not pretty. We've all seen them. You can't miss it. But one of the beauties of Morgan Shady Park is we are in the city, but you don't feel like it. When you get down to our park, it's very private. We are not visible from anywhere in the city, really, other than the fact that we are the city. And having all the things that a manufactured home or mobile home, the same rules to an RV spot. Also, you know, I have people call me to reserve because some spots can take a 50-foot. Some spots can take a 20-foot. And so people try to reserve themselves, it just wouldn't work out because everything would be all screwed up. But now we would have to have paved spots, and we would have to have them all be the same size, or at least this minimum size. And, you know, I understand, for those big RVs, the minimum size is probably good. For a mobile home, manufactured home, it makes sense. But for a camper van, that's kind of ridiculous. The pop-up campers,
Tent size.
well, this doesn't address tent size at all. I guess we could have all the tents we want. but-
Did the mayor come up with all this, or the city council?
Well, I don't know where this came from.
That's
Why is it
crazy.
even out there?
Somewhere.
That's pretty scary.
And it was very hard to find. I had to go to the city for them to make me a copy because it's not posted anywhere for us to find
It
it.
shouldn't even be available to the public yet. We haven't even looked at it yet to determine
We
what we should
just
include
now
and
read it.
exclude. And
Oh, it
if
was
we
out-
asked
it was out
everybody
on
out there to
Facebook for
comment on it, I
months.
don't know how long this process is gonna take.
Yeah, it's a
I think we ought to just put our eyes down Main Street. There's grass growing on it. There's signs
Out of the
broken.
gutters.
That looks awful. That looks awful. We ought to be embarrassed. Our dam, our water, drinking
Well,
water.
this is an attempt.
Y'all should be embarrassed of all that.
This is an attempt to address that. I have just now read it.
Yeah,
Or
it's
part of it.
very preliminary.
Yeah, very
Okay.
preliminary.
That was not clarified in any of the agenda or any of that, and so I was very concerned coming here tonight to defend the fact that it's gonna
But we
do some
need
serious
that,
damage to my business.
yeah, we need that input though, because
And
I'm
later in the
glad you came
agenda,
and spoke
we are
about it.
going to talk about dates for public hearings, and I would think that would be
Okay, that would be
perfect
the best
venue
time for this, yes.
these kind of.
I was.
And send those
I-
concerns, if you can, to an email or some type of written to any of us so that we can insert them in here to say, yeah, we do have businesses. You're not the only RV business
Right.
in town that would affect, if that's the case
Yes.
with those.
And, you know, it's like everything else, I understand there are those people that have disgusting, and that's not us.
Unsafe.
And unsafe, yes,
Right in front of my house.
but this is kind of overkill.
Well, and this is what the third revision we've seen, and not the revision that will go in front of public hearings. These are still being edited and chopped up and junction and over there.
I do
Yes,
understand
they're
that.
junction.
They're not being voted on.
To accept them or anything.
They have to
Yeah, it's gonna be
cancel public hearings.
months.
Yes.
It was on the agenda, I was concerned.
Yeah.
Because it does affect things, and I just think that these are little,
The reason
These
that
are
they're,
crazy.
the reason that you have it is because it was posted on the city's website, I believe. I know that the city was asked to post it, so that you would be able to look at it
right,
prior to the public hearing, so that we could get your input.
So we can get this input.
Right.
and this was not on I could not find it anywhere on the city's website. Cause I expected, that's where I looked, and then
Well-
I put it out on Facebook, does
We're-
anybody have, cause I know it was on Facebook, somebody in the past did have.
Yeah, we're working with a consultant, and they had asked that we put it on our website.
Okay,
Is it on the website?
Yeah.
It is.
Like
You
any
know, I
website.
understand, we need to clean the town. We need to clean the town, we gotta start down Main Street, cleaning the town, and then we can get volunteers and go talk to the residents and say, you know what, we need to clean your yard. You know, you're gonna be out your own money, we're gonna clean your yard, we're gonna mow your yard. You know, I'll get some volunteers, because we've been trying to clean the town for the longest time.
And it's a small enough town, you can get people on board for that, for
But we
sure.
gotta do it the right way.
And Roy, the EDC has been able to get the help from some of the athletic department at the school to help.
Yeah, they come and help too, so.
And hauling appliances
I
around.
told Rudy, I said, if I'm not in compliance, you tell me. And he said, well, can you move these cars? I'll move them. I'll move them.
Well, I know you're good.
You know, I mean, I don't mind. But when you come up with all this stuff, when we saw this, you know, on Facebook, you go like, wow.
You probably had the same reaction I did.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, and a lot of it's in legalese, and,
Yeah.
you know, that complicates things too.
And then I think from the consultant's
fairly
perspective, they
intelligent
wanna throw everything to see what sticks.
Okay,
And
what's
it's our job
applicable for
to
us.
peel off what we don't want.
Get out your, yellow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, right here.
Thank you for the comments. Would anybody else like to, take advantage of the public forum tonight?
I have a random unrelated question about the water or anything like that, just about like the public forum in general.
Sure.
Is there any way that I could make a request that this is something that is, one, a little bit more publicized, more than just on the web? Like, every person I talk to has no idea there's a city meeting going on, nothing like that. And I think it'd be way better if there was way more community here and more
Yeah, we have
representation.
a website, and we post an agenda on there.
Yeah,
It's
but
the
I think
second
it's-
Monday of every month.
And then it was postponed this month.
Right.
And only posted and updated 3 days ago, if I recall correctly.
Right, and who like checks the Junction website every single day? I don't know if you guys do, maybe, but.
This meeting was posted quite a while ago.
Just before
Well,
Friday.
but the agenda
It
was.
was-
Agenda
Before
wasn't, yeah.
Friday.
But also like the timing, I think most people work at 9 to 5 and 5:30 is a little bit cutting it close, and I think it'd be a little bit more fair. Maybe if we could request to have it around a 6:30 to be more reasonable for everybody, so people could be included.
Yeah, so just so that you know, the law requiring public notice currently is 3 days or 72 hours prior
I
to the
get
meeting.
it.
There's a new law going into effect in September that requires 3 business days, so the agenda will,
So it'd be like
probably
Wednesday.
be.
But in an effort to be able to engage the community further and actually
Right.
have us be able to actually take the time and look at that stuff.
Isn't
Because
that the
I'm not
whole
going to
point?
the city office unless I have to pay a bill.
Right.
Unless
I don't
I'm
know
looking
anyone
to
that does.
maybe look at some numbers or something. There's really not reason for me to stop there.
It's posted out here on the.
Same
bulletin
thing, I'm
board,
not stopping.
And it's
At the
posted on
police
all
station,
the city offices.
but-
I put in a request for there to be an official, like, City of Junction Facebook page. It's not on this agenda, but I think it's gonna be on the August agenda where stuff like that could be posted, so it is more accessible online for you.
That'd be very cool.
But it
How
has
about the,
been,
how about the restaurants and, the stores where they make ice?
to post the city
Yeah.
agenda
I
and.
mean, it's like drinking
Yeah.
water. Are they aware of that?
Frozen water.
I got an ice maker too, so, you know,
Sorry, of the agenda or of the water?
no, the
notices?
water.
That was
Notices
noticed
go
every
to
single
everybody.
address.
I didn't get a notice about the boiled water thing, and I have spoken to a bunch of people that also didn't get notices. And then when I went to go take a picture of it at Parker, it just happened to be missing, which I found very interesting.
That'd be a postal service thing. But we-
Huh?
We send it to every single address in town, so.
A
if it
postal
doesn't-
service thing, it might be,
If it
you
doesn't
said?
get to your address, then it's the post office. Cause
Right.
we mail it to, we just drop it off at the post office and say, here, you send it everywhere.
Boiled water notices.
Okay.
Because they go out one day and they're lifted the next day as soon as the water results come back. They are posted, public places. They distribute them to nearly all the businesses, post them on the windows that allow it. It's also, we put it on Facebook, but, then the next day, we lift the boil notice and it comes out the same way.
Okay, well, as respectfully as possible, I think I am not only representing myself in saying that a lot of the violations I've gotten for the last year from the water company are about not notifying us in time of an contamination. I believe on one piece of paper there's 4, and on that same piece of paper there's 6 notifications that are all consecutive from April 1st to December 31st about we have not met the requirements of the quality of our water that we have still distributed to you and charged you full price for.
There's more details to that.
So we've been having this since '95. We had problems with the water, and now it's getting worse. I mean, what are y'all gonna do about it?
It is on the agenda.
I appreciate-
Public Works Director.
Excuse me, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
has the TCQ declared the water here to be unsafe?
No,
Do they do regular inspections and testing of the water?
yes, they do.
Then what are the papers I get in the mail that say that it is unsafe and that it has been tested and it's exceeding the levels of contaminants in the water?
Has the TCQ declared the water here to be unsafe for drinking?
No,
Okay.
I
No
don't know
one's
of a
declaring
single
it's
document that
perfect,
says that.
but they haven't said it's unsafe for drinking.
No.
Okay.
All right, well, I will very gladly provide you with the documentation I was given from the city
documentation
that says it is not safe for drinking. Right.
I think
Not
it's
to
a valid,
drink.
it's a valid question.
Like,
We
are we
all get
serious?
letters.
Are we
Some of us
serious?
don't get letters, but
What are we arguing? Safe water, a natural resource we all pay
And it's all
for?
great, but it's not really, we're not prepared to discuss it right now because it wasn't on the agenda, so, but I appreciate your.
It was on the agenda. I made sure to look before coming here to make sure that the water was on the agenda. I believe it was number 3. I can double check that for you.
So can y'all give an answer, maybe in a month, 2 months,
It
to the
was.
public? What y'all gonna do about the water?
Well, what's the question?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
the
it was number
question?
2.
Whoa,
It
you
was
can't
number
drink the
2.
water.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
Well, that's what I read.
Where?
I'm drinking the water.
On the piece of paper that says it.
Bring the paper, let's look at
Do you
it.
have it?
What? The
Let's
paper?
see it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you like to see it here?
fine,
I mean, I
I'll
feel
read
like
it.
we've all read the notices.
How about if
and
we not do that tonight, because we need to be prepared.
I mean, this is a notice from you guys about what
No,
the meeting is
I
gonna
feel
be.
like
What
we've all
could you be
been
more
prepared
concerned about
about
it,
it.
except the topics that are being discussed?
It's very specific.
I've got the agenda right here. And it's for
Let's see the number 2.
departmental report. So if the public works director was here and wanted to make a report, that's where he would do it.
Okay, well, if there's any type of way that I can request to speak about it at the next meeting where we can think about a topic, I absolutely would.
You're invited to
Is it
make
a
a request to
protection?
be on the agenda at City Hall.
Can I say something?
I
It's
will, I
30+
appreciate it.
years and we haven't done nothing about the water. How longer is it gonna take? 50 years?
HBs that it's about, so
Can y'all answer that in a couple of months?
when one
We
violation
haven't
is
done
made.
it 30 years, Roy.
So then we should change that. We should change that. We deserve to be healthy here.
Our water is fantastic. and we-
Our water is not fantastic.
Anyway, we don't see the argument.
I'd like to make, I'd like to make one comment. We
The
have,
water they were consuming is not
as
safe.
a first-end
And I'm not
user,
gonna drop that respectfully.
as a first-end user of the water of South Leno River, we have no industries, we have no manufacturers upstream from us, we have no cities upstream from us. All those cities downstream of us, we're the first ones here. You do not have any antibiotics in your water, you don't have any sewage in your water, and you don't have any chemicals from manufacturers being dumped in your water. My job is, and an area dear to my heart would be to help get those septic systems off the river. That's what I wanna do. A lot of the notices you get are from TCEQ regulations, not repeat violations. But we get over that
It looks
together.
scary, don't they?
They do, but you call TCEQ, ask them, I've done this. I've fought TCEQ a lot and find out, but we do have very good drinking water. Do we have chemicals in there? Yeah, some of them required by TCEQ to be put in there. So, we need to, but we need to be, obviously, the public doesn't know this. This needs to be written about, and y'all need to know why those chemicals are in your water and where they came from.
But
And
y'all
we
are the
can do
ones
that.
y'all are running the town, the city of Junction, y'all need to tell the people.
You're right,
You
that's.
know, not us, y'all tell the people.
That's right, this is very apparent now that this needs to be done, that y'all need to know. So I think we can do that.
Well, wasn't notice sent to each household? in
I
the
didn't get
community?
one.
I mean, that's how we became aware of these violations,
Well,
because the notice was sent.
the boil water notice was for a broken line, wasn't it? That's why.
I think we're
that
beyond the
was-
boil water notice. I think we're talking about the notices that we've been getting in the mail.
From TCQ, that goes out,
For a year and a half.
yeah.
And their TTHMs are actually where the natural chlorine is fighting the regular, what we have to put in that TCQ requires. When there's a violation with a TTHM or whichever of the letters go, that's per quarter. They average 4 quarters together, and you could have 3 quarters that are good, 1 quarter that's bad, so you're gonna have to send notices for about 3 quarters at
Or
least.
perhaps the inverse.
Too, because
Possibly.
it has to take that bad read off before you can do anything with it.
So how many notices haven't been sent
And
in
we
the last
have-
year since that has been
And we have
approved?
those because we do have end of line, areas that don't circulate. And so sometimes
There
those
is-
come up.
To answer your question, there has not been a notice that hasn't been sent out,
Okay,
TCQ monitors that, that's not
because they
Okay.
will,
city, cause all
that's
the
why
tests
you
is
see
done.
that I had to mail out a notice saying that the notice wasn't sent,
okay,
Mhm.
so.
for sure.
I mean, TCQ does that testing, so they're in charge of like those notices.
So did TCEQ administer the letters as well?
Or did the water office?
They send us the notice, that we have to send the notice out.
Okay.
Okay,
Then,
perfect.
they spend lots of time printing the notices and folding and sending. But, as I say, there have been, time last year, but some of the things, they also that they showed on notices were something that came from the water plant, it did not come from the office. As far as,
No water comes from the office, just to clarify, correct?
no, but the notices do.
So it being in the plant means that it was in fact in our water.
No, at the plant, I'm talking about, they do the reports online. And if they're a day late on getting that report online to them, then we have to send a notice out saying that the report was late.
But we were talking about contamination in the plant.
Right.
But you
No,
also
there's
do
not
have
contamination in the
notice.
plant.
Oh, there's not. Oh, okay.
Okay. I recently heard about a grant that was granted to Junction to improve the water facilities. Is that anywhere near correct?
For,
The water facilities,
The
to
water
improve our water
facilities?
facilities.
we have a grant and a loan to get a new water intake and to repair the dam, but those are the only two. Oh, and then we did get the grant, put in new electronic meters.
And when did the grant come in?
For the dam,
For the dam and the water intake.
end of 21.
For the dam, 21?
Yeah.
4 years.
And did the meters go up? Have the meters been put up?
So when they're gonna start at the dam?
Oh, so they have-
When
okay.
they can start?
As soon as we have all of the endangered species relocated to their new
Well, I
confines.
thought that's on the agenda tonight,
And
right?
that one is-
Oh,
That's
that's
a
done.
separate item.
Are they gonna dredge the dam also?
No,
Just the intake.
Because we can't prove that gravel was there, that gravel was caused by the flood.
Where'd it come from?
Morgan Chick
Makes it seem-
You can take pictures down there and show them.
I think we have soundings now, we actually measured the depth now, so if it happens again, but then it'll probably be out of date and we won't take it.
Since the last ride, I'm probably out of date.
So for the dam, I've got 21 as whenever that was granted. When was the water facility improvement granted?
the water intake,
The water intake
it was at the same time.
in 21? Okay.
So Darlene, all of the priority infrastructure projects that Jonathan is going to address tonight are being funded by a combination of grants, loans, and city revenue.
Yes,
And that financing has already been arranged.
yes.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions over the departmental reports? County financial position reports, the payables? If nobody has any questions on those, I'd like to call on Jonathan Tiefenteller of Arduro to answer all of our silly questions about ongoing projects that you're doing for the city. Of course. Thank you, Jonathan.
Good evening, Council. Thank y'all for having me. Go through our ongoing projects with y'all real quick, and of course, if you have any questions, please ask. And then if we need to set up a separate meeting, have a workshop, anything, please, strongly encourage you, please let me know. Ongoing, the Junction Dam and intake structure, which is partially funded by Texas Water Board grants and loan dollars. Communicate where y'all are at. Y'all remember when I was here, when was it, end of March? I don't know exactly when it was, that we were in the middle of the biological assessment. That has been completed and has been submitted to the that has been submitted to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which they will then issue a biological opinion in coordination with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife to grant us final approval on the permit to go out for bid and begin construction.
So they haven't issued that approval yet?
No, not yet. No, we have been emailing them and going back and forth, and over the last 2 weeks, asking for a status update, and still pending that. So the ball is in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and with U.S. Fish and Wildlife to release the pre-construction notification and the nationwide permits that this project is being completed under.
Jonathan, is that for the dam you're talking about?
The dam and the intake have been
Both.
progressing on the same timeline, they're kind of same agencies and the same issues with them.
Are there any objections or issues that you're aware of at all? Do you expect it to go through pretty quickly?
Yeah, all the feedback we've gotten so far has been pretty standard. I mean, we, obviously, what you know of, we've had to do the additional surveys, we've had to send divers down there multiple times, with presence absence survey. The only thing would be the relocation of any mussels immediately in the way, but that would be done, right before construction. You wouldn't do that now while you're still going through all the process, so that would be the relocation, that's already been factored. So what we're waiting for is the green light to say you can begin bidding and construction, which again, we've heard the design, the plans and all that have been completed. We are just waiting for the green light from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
I know you can't give a timeline, but does it normally take this long for projects like this?
This is my first experience with endangered mussels on the Texas River. My past experience have been like birds and like during mating season, and that was a 3-month stint, the extended period, and then they're in, they're out, and that was a lot easier navigating. These
They don't
mussels,
travel very far.
to kind of give some background, these mussels were not endangered in 2021. They were listed at the end of 2022, in which made us then backtrack to restart that process, which was very, very frustrating. But we had to do it correctly, and obviously it has to be done, because federally listed endangered species, lots of eyes on it. So that's what caused us to send divers back out there again, the presence absence survey, and now to where we are today.
So Jonathan, do you think, is there any chance that bids will be let before the end of this year?
I believe we could be bidding. We would probably won't be receiving bids. I imagine the dam particularly being advertised for 60 days minimum to give contractors enough time to put together a pretty good competitive bid. And there is a lot of things to consider with the phasing of the 2 abutments. So just due to it being a longer bid, I could imagine bidding at the end of this year and receiving bids in the new year. If everything moves. I know y'all probably heard that from me before, if everything moves as is, right? I don't wanna,
Mayor,
Guess you
do
could say
mind
flow
if
as
I
well.
ask a-
Please do.
a couple of questions? I'll come back to Jonathan, sorry.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? So what exactly are you planning on doing to the dam?
Mayor, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so for the dam, a great question. The dam is the rehab of the existing facilities and improvement. The two abutments, they don't have an upstream toe wall. And y'all probably see on the city park side, there is some scouring and eroding under that concrete cap. There is a pretty good sized hole in there, void going through it. So it would be taking off the concrete cap, building up 4 new walls on all sides of it. Because it was in 2021 when it flooded, it had scoured out all around outside, and that concrete cap was almost being elevated, like cantilevered over. So it'd be pretty much just full reconstruction of the abutments is where the bulk of the work is, and then the toe of the dam, which I know y'all know it has collapsed and fell, and you got rebar, and then it's pretty scary on the city park side where it got exposed rebar on that wall. So all those walls will be replaced with brand new toe walls on both sides, and then a new toe to support the dam so there's no sliding or undermining or turning over
That's the downstream side.
on the downstream side.
What about the floodgates?
So nothing actually to the dam to help where you could drain it?
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
no.
No work on the floodgates. No. There's a ton of sediment and buildup behind it, and transparently, I don't know if the cost is worth the effort to get to the floodgates to properly repair
They're
them.
being,
Only for the next flood to then build it back up, and it's impossible for anyone to get to. This is a low head dam, water's constantly moving over it, sediment constantly being brought in, you would clear it out only for it to get filled back up again.
So
our job
Jonathan, the reason
is protect
the project was undertaken originally, was there concern about the dam being washed away at some point?
No, sir.
Okay, so what are the real adverse consequences of this work not being done?
Well, the abutments are exposed rebar and cracking. This project was never communicated to council or the city as a dire, world's on fire message. Forgive me, I may not know all the proper language. It was always, this structure, has a huge purpose as a critical infrastructure for the water supply. Creating the dam itself and the recreational purposes is a huge asset to the city. And the message has always been to protect that asset and the longevity of the city and the environment there, to protect those abutments who have experience from previous floods, undermining, scouring, being washed out, and jeopardized with the dam could fail during a large flood event.
And on the city side, it's unsafe and has been cordoned off.
Yeah, that void is unsafe, and anyone not knowing, getting under there, that would be the unsafe side.
And just so y'all, we had engineered,
Yeah.
they tested the dam and were very, happy
Yeah,
with
the
its
dam,
structure.
the dam itself is keyed into limestone, it is protected. That dam is very much supported by its foundation being tied into the banks with the abutments, and protecting those abutments and longevity of the dam is extending that life of that asset for the city.
Okay, thank you. And with respect to the water intake for the water plant, what are any dire consequences if that is not done?
Well, it definitely needs to be done, and there's 2 reasons why that was approached. So again, it's an intake structure itself, so we're not talking about any of the treatment process. We're just pulling in the same water the city is currently pulling in from the river. That structure, twofold. When it floods, again, it talks about that, what I call like a moving bed load of all that sediment. And it's more than just sediment, it's rocks, it's leaves, and pretty big debris. And so the current pipe, the current intake is an 18-inch pipe that's cantilevered out to the river, which is susceptible to being hit and damaged or crushed, impeding the city's ability to bring in fresh water. So this would be a flood-proof concrete structure, larger than the current one. And then we're also making it deeper. Instead of just being an 18-inch pipe, this is, again, it's a canal style. So again, this is the river, kind of a canal style, be able to divert and feed in water that would be deeper. If there is availability for funding or future dredging along there in the future, we'll have deeper or drought contingencies and stuff like that.
With the mayor's permission, I'll ask one more question. You know, Jonathan, with the regulatory agencies, I think most people, certainly sitting on the council, know this. Smaller towns often don't get the attention that the larger communities get. Is there anything that the council could do to get the congressman to call the Corps or assert other influence to try to move this along? Because this is really stretched out for a very long time.
Understand your concern.
Do you have any recommendations in that regard?
I do not have any recommendations in that regard.
Any off the record comment?
No, sir, I have no
Okay.
record comments in that regard.
The mayor, I think that's really something to consider, is trying to get someone talking on the city's behalf to the Corps of Engineers and the other regulators. I mean, it can't hurt.
You know, been 5 years of this time.
It's a
Get going.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I can continue down hot topics and keep on going to the chlorine and the city's wastewater treatment plant improvements. As y'all know, that project is under construction and it's about 75% complete on the construction side. There's bringing in a couple more pieces of equipment and that's been progressing on schedule and fine. So there, again, that's 2 aerators to fight nutrient loading in lagoon number 4 and then the new chlorine contact chamber.
If I can, what's the removal procedure of these mussels?
You don't remove them, you can relocate them.
So y'all are relocating them, removing them?
Divers
Or
can
having
relocate
divers.
the ones that are immediately affected within the project area.
Okay, so you don't even have to clean out the whole thing, or have the divers clean it out the whole thing,
The whole river, no, sir.
or a large, huge section. Is it a huge section?
The dam is a quite large section. The intake structure, we are proposing coffer damming, temporary sheet piles, common construction practice, where you would dewater a certain area in order to form and pour concrete and complete the construction efforts, making sure there's no mussels immediately impacted within that area.
Could you do something like that similar to the dam?
Ask me that one more time.
Could you do something along those lines using a copper wall, you called it, right?
Yeah. The copper
Around the
dam.
dam to be able, since y'all aren't working on the whole dam, can you do that to the sides?
So, in the same construction method, in a similar fashion would be completed, slightly different, because that dam structure is kind of a triangle shape, so you can't coffer dam into the concrete itself. So there's a couple other strategies that contractors would implement to dewater a section along there, and then you could do like a steel sheet pile and coffering dam along the bank and where it can tie into or drop down to the limestone layer. Then you can fully dewater it in order to put in abutments, but all that would be then the affected area for that structure, which would you need to mitigate for the environmental.
Okay.
Jonathan, do you think that these delays have affected our budget and our ability to, I mean, is the project still doable within the original budget?
Yes, sir, I believe so, yeah. Yeah, and so y'all know this has been closely communicated and coordinated with Texas Water Development Board on the hurdles and a lot of it being a cooperative effort with them. They've been very much brought along with this process as we've moved through these, I don't know if hoops is the right word, as we move through some of these challenges and coordination efforts and the additional effort needed, they have been brought along with that process.
So we're not in danger of losing funding since
No.
it's gone along. Okay.
I feel confident, yeah.
No, there's no danger of losing funding, and I'll say if there are cost increases, there is potential opportunity in the future to essentially request additional funds, and it can go through essentially a process. They do not want to see stranded projects, and so they would rather do what they can to help it proceed.
Would you please introduce him to the rest of the council? I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody has.
I just met him, but I didn't.
Yeah, don't
Sorry.
make sure everybody has a
Yeah,
chance to
go
meet him.
ahead, please.
Sorry, I'm James Bronkowski, also with Ardura, just joining Jonathan today.
So I brought James as the backup. James is joining us and has been a huge asset I'm probably gonna get this wrong, the last 10 or 15 years, working for Texas Water Development Board, being on the project side that we're going through. And so, Ardura had brought him on board, and he's now part of our team, who's then kind of been able to leverage a lot of those relationships, calling those project managers directly, and it has kind of opened a lot of doors for us on at least getting communication on the same page.
But he didn't know anybody at the Corps of Engineers.
Unfortunately, not in this regard.
Okay. I will keep going down the list, and please stop me if I feel like I missed anything. The asset management for small water systems, that is the digital data log that we've created for the city. We have completed all the field work. We've categorized, quantified all of the cities. This is for the city's sanitary sewer collection system. And that is a fancy way of saying manholes and gravity lines and lift stations going to wastewater treatment plants. So we've completed the digital data log. So now your public works department, mayor, the council members, whoever the city grants access to, they can physically click on an online link, it'll pull up pictures of that asset, the manholes. You can have presence of I&I, if you have any solids kind of settling out, which would then slow down the flow, or like sanitary sewer overflows, all of that evidence would be visible and dissolved in photograph. We've gotten most of the city system. We worked really closely with Public Works. They were a huge asset. A lot of effort needed from the Public Works team to work with our guys to help us pop manholes. So couldn't be this far without them. We're in the final stretches. We're just waiting on a couple more pieces of information. The second half of this exercise, and I know Public Works is getting for us right now, is getting an understanding of the city's budgets, and then the energy audit we'll do at the lift stations, make sure that the pumps that are currently, like the pumps in the lift stations, are operating, within like an energy efficient manner, and if not, this could be different recommendations that we consider in the future. So this will be creating a capital improvement plan for the city's sanitary sewer assets. So that's what ties what I was just talking about on the physical categorization to now, the second half of this was a data request to the city, was the financial budgets and some of the energy information on what your electrical meters are saying at your stations.
Okay.
And I will keep going. Scared to bring up ordinances. On my list to keep going down, so I know very much where we're at, and I know the community has different questions about that, so we'll kind of address that. I know we had a team that had formed a committee, made up of different council members. That committee then helped us identify 10, I know the small number, 10 individuals, and I could be wrong, if anyone knows the exact number, a handful of community members to help start with that committee on identifying different needs within the community on the ordinances side. Where my understanding of where we're at is the attorney is finalizing their reviews, and then from there it would be scheduling probably most likely more than one public hearings to now get true community involvement. So my understanding was getting something on paper to begin the conversation and understand the true needs. And if anyone on council that's part of that committee wants to add to that, please do.
That's accurate.
Okay.
Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, let me ask a question. For the public hearings on the changes to the ordinances,
Yes, sir.
for the average layman reader, it's pretty overwhelming. Will your group be preparing any summary statements of the major changes being made that would be available to the public at these hearings?
Yeah,
Or is that a city responsibility?
I think we've already created those general summaries, and I believe we've already created those because we pretty much did that and covered that in forms of PowerPoint when we met with the committee, where we covered the major changes, and we had kind of created that and kept log of that as we met with the committee, because we had a multitude of meetings with the committee as we went through this process. And that's a great point, generating something like that to be shown and displayed during that would be helpful.
Or even as a handout,
Yeah.
that would be available.
I know it's been done. We have not had a chance to reconvene with the committee to formulate what that format looks like, because I don't think it's been scheduled. But I imagine it would either be housed here or if the council feels like there needs to be a larger setting for that. Once we identify the setting, what technology needs, PowerPoint could
Well,
probably.
that would make a hearing more meaningful if that were available to the public.
It's a good point.
Who was on the committee that made that, made the sign of these things? Is there a
The-
list?
The working committee, it was Tammy Molina, myself, Doug Haynes, and Garvin. And also, this Bernard, for a couple of, one,
I stopped getting invitations.
okay,
This is-
for one meeting.
I think it was a volunteer basis, during a council meeting several months back. That's typically how those things start. You gotta have the ringleader, if you will, get the first initial rounds, and then you invite the community out to get true involvement. Okay. Smart water meters. Darby and I got an email, I guess, last week or so, and, we're bid ready. Our project's done, so just to summarize, we're waiting for the green light. We haven't gotten that approval yet. Not that I've seen, Darby, unless I've missed anything.
I haven't gotten anything.
Okay.
What's the green light you're looking for?
So this is it's a Texas Department of Agriculture. I don't mean to continue to be, vague, sorry. Texas Department of Agriculture is, 75 or 90% grant dollars. And this is for residential water meters only. And this is for smart water meters, AMR water meters, which is, I think it's gonna be
No, I
extremely
mean, the
helpful.
green light, what is the green light, like grant money
So-
itself, or?
So there's a timing on it, is when, my understanding is the timing with Texas Department of Agriculture, and we got approved for the first phase of complete design, and now it's waiting for it, saying we can bid it.
John?
But I guess to clarify, I'm so sorry, to clarify, my understanding from the communication we had 2 weeks ago from the grant writer of managing the project, the grant writer of managing the project is we can anticipate going out for bid August 11th. So a week and a half or 2 weeks, I think that's a Monday.
Is this project scalable such that we could put meters, or maybe even use with meters that are not part of this project, but where we put meters on branches of the distribution system to reconcile the delivered water with the produced water?
Identify where your water loss is happening.
Yeah.
Yes, to answer your question, yes it is. There's a couple who we work with, whoever is interested and we feel like is a good product for the city. There's a couple different meter manufacturers out there. I'm sure several of them have bugged City Hall, quite a few selling that have the latest and greatest. Our goal is to put together a package that would invite competition and the latest technology on water loss and capturing meter, especially for like low flow events, because a lot of times you can have like a slow drip and you won't know it, so if you have like air variation also. So these newer meters that will detect low flow events, it'll start sending a code. If it detects like a continuous low flow event at a certain property, it'll send a code that your public works and your office will get a notification of, and then they can follow.
And it'll do that on an individual meter basis?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. So that would be then, again, it's a residential water meter, so that's gonna detect the flow from the meter to the house.
Right.
What you're talking about in the distribution system.
Right.
I would imagine you need to put in some kind of facility or housing for that larger 6-inch meter for your main distribution mains to capture that flow there.
Because it has the potential to save so much water loss.
Capture it.
Capturing it, right. I mean, are there possibly some other water development work projects that we could
Yeah.
use to help get that in?
Yes, sir, there are.
Okay. That would be something I think we all use.
Okay.
Also, because we just had that recent boil water because we had a broken line.
Yeah.
And if we had, you know, meters and valves also distributed around town, we could have limited the amount of water loss to residents, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, having, good access and working isolation valves within your system is huge for those kind of breaks. Because when you know you have a break, but you can't find the valve to close off that block, it's a nightmare. Yes, it is.
Just have to work with.
Yes, sir. Guys, that's my list of projects. Again, we're always available, and if we ever need to sit down, and spend a couple hours diving into something, please let me know. And Mayor, I'll make a note about the future upcoming grant opportunities focused on the water loss lines. And if y'all, I think what would be helpful, if y'all have those sections of town kind of in your mind, that would be the feedback that would be helpful for me to kind of say these segments. Cause I have like your old block maps and I know what sizes they are, but y'all are gonna know firsthand what the condition are. Or your public works, where is the most breaks. So if there's a way to communicate that to us and show us where that's at, that would be helpful as well. Thank you.
Mayor, what is the status of the city developing a water plan? You know, something that's been discussed for years, and, you know, we've heard parts of it here today, but is something in the works to have a water plan developed for the city?
Not in maybe as comprehensive as a manner as I'm assuming you're talking about. It sounded very comprehensive, you know, but we've started the process of getting a capital improvement plan going. We've got it now for the wastewater, and if we get it for the water, I think we have a piecemeal plan in place that's going to improve the asset management part of it. I think working with our is really going to help out with all that.
And listen, final question, I didn't realize the chlorinator project was like 75% complete.
Infrastructure wise, yes, sir.
Infrastructure. You know, I recall when the council approved that project and the funding for it, they also approved the aerators, which were not required by TCQ, but which the council wanted to have done. And that was like an additional $200,000. Has that money been found? Has the council voted on that yet? Will they be voting on that? Will that be part of your budget? I mean,
Part
where's
of our
that,
budget talks.
where's that 200,000 coming from is my question.
It'll be part of our budget talk.
We start our budget workshops,
Okay,
it will be funded.
thank you.
I want Junction to set the example for cities.
And we think the airport is huge. I mean, it's really gonna take the load off that water.
Does our water draw from right here at the plant?
Sorry?
Does our water draw from right here at the plant? Okay.
It's not in
How
Kerrville?
deep is it? You know how deep it is?
We don't get our water from
Sucking the
Kerrville.
water?
Sorry?
You know how deep it is where it's sucking the water?
That's so interesting.
think they
I don't
run
know,
out.
6, 8 feet, something like that.
How interesting.
It's not very deep.
It's about a foot underwater.
It's not very deep right now. That's the reason we're
It's
doing this.
It's visible,
Yeah.
it's visible if you're standing over it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, it's not
But
as
it
bad.
will be.
But Roy, we got the
It will be
sewer
much
pipe
deeper.
that was going across the river done. I mean, we gotta look back at some things we did get accomplished.
Did y'all ever
Know
fix that
exactly
line
those
going
boulders
to,
going down?
Northeast Junction? Did y'all ever fix that one? Cause it was leaking in '95.
The water or,
Yes, there's water, city water.
Where,
he said going to Northeast Junction, it was leaking, water line.
I think they put a new water line in over there.
I know for years it was leaking.
It was done before I started, but my understanding is a new water line that's going over there now.
There was a major break that went on for months, but that was repaired some years ago,
Was it North?
unless there's a new break. Mayor, with all the talk about the safety of water, which is certainly understandable, has the council also been replacing the membrane filters in the water plant?
Yeah, I believe one entire unit is.
So that has upgraded the capability
Absolutely.
for filtering and cleaning the water.
What was this improvement?
Membrane
Membrane
filters,
filter.
and that was a costly project.
Yes, I believe it was $100,000 or something. Maybe more.
Thank you for that, for installing those filters.
It's you have to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, those are for the plant to run properly. And they're replaced on a schedule, so to speak. The hard thing is finding them.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Maybe, I think we're the only plant like this in Texas that's like
They're hard to locate?
the filters, yeah.
Really?
A German unit that's, and get your parts out of Australia. Okay. Any other questions for Jonathan? Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action on a request by the Kimball County Chamber of Commerce to maintain some money that they received from the Tourism Board during the COVID period, and they would like to repurpose it for a new float. Is that a root beer float?
No, sir. It's an old float for the Kimball County Court. So for decades, the Kimball County Chamber of Commerce has hosted and run a pageant each year to name new Kimball County Queen Courts. And the purposes of the Queen's Court is to be at some of the events that we do throughout the year, help us in what we do. But another function of the Queen's Court is to be ambassadors for Junction. And the way they do that is by participating in area parades. You'll see them again here pretty soon in August at our Summer Classic Rodeo Parade, and after that they'll be heading out to Fredericksburg and Johnson City for parades out in that area. And the whole reason to do that is to tell people about Junction and encourage them to come visit. We've had a float. It predates me. I found some pictures that I could say it's at least 20 years old. It could be more. It was definitely repurposed from an old mobile home frame. It is big, it is bulky, and it's been a very great float for us for years. While it may be hard to tow, but unfortunately, the years have also gotten to it, and we have worked pretty hard to keep it looking as good as possible over the past 3 years. And against all efforts, it's just failing in areas. And so we've been looking at it, trying to figure out what we can do. I have a board member who's been specifically looking into floats and float makers that can make something that's a little easier for us and the parents who help to pull the float, and something that's a little bit nicer to present and a little bit easier to tow. It's not as heavy as a current float that we have. It's been
Talk to
great.
the shop class at the high school.
Huh?
Shop class at the high school, we talked to them.
I don't know if he
They build
has,
trailers.
but there are some professional float makers out there that make these type of floats that that we've been looking at. If you guys have seen in the parade, like Fredericksburg has a really nice kind of tiered down float. One of the people have one of those real professional ones where there's someone underneath it driving it. They have a little slip that can see go forward. But what we're looking for is something that's good, easy to use. And so we thought we would ask, yeah, it would, I think it would still be a tow behind. There's a manufacturer that my vice president of the board has been looking at, it's out of San Antonio. And so we were hoping that we could use whatever remainder of funds we had left from the Eclipse to use that towards that. I have some members that have also stated that they would be willing to help give towards that as well. So that would get us pretty close to the finish line, but not there. But this little bit would help us along the way to get to that goal.
How many dollars are we talking about?
They can run anywhere from $14,000 to $30,000.
No, the excess.
The excess is a little over $14,000 that's left.
Tourism is okay with this?
This was something that was dealt between us and the city council, because it was money that we had from what we were given during the COVID years. When I realized there was excess, I said, hey, can we use this for the Eclipse? And we used the vast majority of it for the Eclipse. We just had that little bit left, and we're hoping that maybe we can use it for that.
I make a motion, we want them to use the money for a new float for the girls.
Motion made.
do you intend to fund the difference between this and whatever else?
We'll go to members and ask for donation, we'll ask for donations to be able to do that, and most of that will be advertising, so on top of what we have on there, we'll put our the people who sponsored it, we'll recognize them on the float as well.
But none of it will be money that was already budgeted to you just for operating.
No.
Okay, motion made, seconded. Any other questions? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark, appreciate it. And, let's see, upcoming, since you didn't do departmental.
Yeah, hey, no problem.
You wanna give us
I can
just a
tell you.
quick update on.
We had the best 4th of July we could possibly have, with weather and everything, but we will be back at the park next year, don't worry, unless the park's flooded. But we are praying that does not happen again. So we did the best we could at the 4th, but we got some really fun things coming up, here in the next month. And August 9th is our Summer Classic Rodeo Parade with the theme of Bring Back the 80s, and I tell you guys, I cannot wait to see what our participants do with their floats this year. I think it's gonna be wonderful, absolutely amazing. And then we have the Cow Kit coming up on Labor Day weekend. We are bringing back axe throwing. We're gonna have a rock climbing wall. We'll have some bouncy houses for the kiddos. Little Miss and Mr. Kimball County pageant will be going on. Live music at the festival from Guthrie Moss. We'll also have our annual Cow Kit barbecue cook-off going on during that time as well. And we're also having a new thing called the Armadillo Express that's gonna be there. It's a trackless train for the kiddos to ride around during the event. So we're gonna have a lot of fun that weekend. August 30th for the majority of it. The barbecue is the 29th through the 30th. And of course, to close out the night, Brett Mullins will be playing live out at the big pavilion there at the basketball court. We're having a dance, so he'll be our musical entertainment. So tell everyone, we're having a dance, August 30th. We're really excited about it. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action approving a budget amendment for the tourism board, increasing the amount of funds for the Chamber of Commerce to $115,000 for the current fiscal year. Garvey will give you an update on that.
This was, their budgeted, when their budget was approved, they had $108,000 for the chamber. Chamber came in and asked for $115,000, council approved that. And so they were just going to move, they were doing a budget amendment, not changing their budget, they're leaving it at what it was. But they needed to move the $7,000 from the, Christmas lights, because Christmas lights came in under budget this year. And so to move $7,000 from the Christmas lights over to the chamber, just a line item amendment. But it will make your books line up then.
Okay. And as y'all know, with public, with the accounting standards, the budget is very important.
Is there anything else, Melissa, other than?
I'll make a motion, we do that?
Okay, have a motion to, make the budget, amendment for the tourism board.
I'll second it.
Motion is seconded. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action ordering a special election for liquor by the glass on November 4th, 2025. So previously, this council has done the necessary approvals, but we still need to order the special election to occur.
It's gonna occur with the county. But we don't normally have city elections in our county, so this is considered special. Okay. I'll make a motion, we do that.
Okay, great.
I'll second the motion to order a
Motion made and seconded. Is there any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. And special election.
If you'll sign there and pass it down to get their signatures, please.
Very good. Please sign that. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action setting public hearings on proposed amendments to the ordinances. So,
Mayor, did you skip the public works
Yes.
director on purpose?
yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. Just
delayed it by one. But, I'm very certain we are going to have at least a couple public hearings on these ordinances. And so, do we want to go ahead and start talking about dates that we would like to schedule those at this time? Or would it be more appropriate to wait until there's been some more, I don't know, you think there'll be some more that needs to be done to it prior to any public hearing?
I don't think there will be. I think the drafts are where they are. They've been reviewed by the city's legal, and the edits have been made to them pursuant to that review. So I think, speaking for the consultants, they're ready for us to entertain.
Presented to the public?
Yeah, comments and go forward with public meetings.
And these edits, all the updated edits are the copy from 4 days ago, right?
I don't know.
The
All I know is that the comments that were received from the attorneys have been incorporated.
Okay. That's the last draft.
Now, there were two that the attorneys did not send back, and she was looking for those to see what happened. Whether the other attorney that was working with her on them did not finish them more.
So are we still looking for those edits?
I don't have them yet. I talked to her at the end of the week, and she was looking to see, but she had left on vacation, and that's why she just gotten back, so.
So this is all the new minutes minus a couple?
Yeah,
But we'll have them by the time
Even if we don't, I think there's enough here to meet on.
to hear from the public on.
I'm thinking, can we make it small? I mean, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
That's a golden corral.
Well, some are current, some match up with current amendments, like some
Yeah.
are not, some are already.
Yeah, it's already on the
days.
books.
Yeah. So dates?
So Mayor, is it accurate to say that these amendments will be posted or are posted?
They are posted.
They're
They've
now
been
available on the
posted
city's website? Okay, thank you.
It's been more than a month.
Where are they, Russell?
I can, they're on the homepage.
Cause we requested through freedom of information, the last set of changes, and that's like 2 weeks ago. So I heard from a bunch of folks a few minutes ago that, well, there's still a lot of changes to be made, and Doug's just said it's all done, so.
Well, so it's on the main page, if you scroll down to the code amendment and surveys and the amendment summaries.
Has 3 links.
You go straight to the homepage and you just scroll down about 3 notices. So there's flood damage notices, there's the boil water notice, there's a few other notices, and then it's posted.
Is the full text there, Candace, or just something?
Yes. Now granted, I mean, I doubt the amendments from 4 days ago were on there, because we just got those, and we're still waiting on amendments.
Right.
So the ones we don't have yet obviously aren't on there, but the full originally unedited
That's the one
proposal
that's-
is on there.
Okay, well, I have that, so as long as you guys will keep posting them, we can download them and start asking Garvey for new copies, but.
I mean, because there's been a lot of edits since that first one. So, like a lot of, and I saw what was posted on Facebook too, and that was a draft so old that by the time I was elected, that had already been edited.
Okay, thanks.
I can send it to you, I'm not sure, she normally sends them to you also, but she might not send it to you, email address.
So Garvey,
Darlene, the ones you printed for Cindy earlier, how up to date are they?
Those were 4 days ago.
So these are the latest, greatest.
That we have
And-
right now.
Minus.
And from the very beginning, there have been only very minor changes.
So
Not,
who's gonna enforce all this? What kind of team? And who are you gonna hire to do this, like all the other amendments or ordinances that you have that nobody enforces? What's gonna happen? Who's gonna maintain this?
The first thing they start with the poor people and middle class. You start with somebody that's got money, it's over with.
They start.
I've been there.
They start
I've been
poor
there.
people who are
Yeah,
that.
Roy, you were on the council.
I know, I've been there. But who's the one that cleared all of that pasture? Who's the one that cleared it up? I did. Next door, go look at it.
Yeah.
At the church, go look at it. So you tell
Well,
me,
you just go
is
down
that
the
fair?
street to
Is that
South
fair for
Centerville to
me?
look at it.
It's not fair. I cleared it. Paid over 30,000. So it's not fair.
I mean, you have a plumbing ordinance, and there's nobody to enforce it.
Our ordinances are, they're pretty comprehensive. They talk about fire and code and everything, so.
Well, but I'm saying,
We
who's
haven't gone up
going
on,
to
we
enforce
haven't
it?
gone up on taxes enough yet to pay the person. But we'll get you next year, for sure.
You're gonna have votes down here.
If
You're gonna have
everybody
votes
pays
down
much
here.
taxes as we pay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go there.
Yeah, no, with being a small town and all, we just don't have those resources.
No, but this was logically discussed in council meeting, right? That we would approve the ordinances before hiring a code enforcement officer, so you don't have a code enforcement officer learning 2 books of code to learn the old ones, and then when we pass this, or the revision of it, in a few months, to learn all new code and be inefficient use of time.
And we will be doing our budget workshop starting actually this coming month.
Right, last council meeting, we put it in to the agendas to hire a code enforcement officer.
I mean, I understand, we have to clean the town. I mean, you know, we do, but we gotta do it right. You know, not just pick on some people here and there and then quit. Like we've done in the past years. That's all we've been doing.
Well, and what you mentioned earlier in the meeting is mentioned in the code where it talks about city going in and cutting grass and clearing weeds, and that's one of the first provisions in there before further action is taken, to use city workers to help clear that.
Yeah, but let's start down Main Street. Let's stop, I mean, there's storage buildings there, grass growing, broken windows, you know, broken signs. And we're worried about the residents and not downtown.
Well, this is
I
commercial, a lot of it's
want to
commercial.
bring all the people in here.
No, a lot of this is
Tourists, we need to bring them in here.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful town.
A lot of this is commercial, and the EDC is working with us and Main Street businesses. There was a meeting to focus on that. All of that is at the forefront of a lot of entities.
All the cars that I pick up, they're crashes. And I don't get paid for them. If they don't have, full coverage, I get stuck with all it. And I gotta wait until the price is good on metal. Then I get rid of it. But actually, I'm just cleaning up for the city and the county. You know, I got all my licenses and everything, but I'm just cleaning up, and I don't get paid. What I can do, I can send y'all the bill, and y'all pay me, and y'all keep the car. I mean,
And I think we passed something about that a few years ago.
We've talked about that
Where,
before,
where
but it's not
junk
fair.
car, where you pay like $50 for a car to have it hauled to our lot.
that's not even, I'll pay Randy $125 for a wreck, you know?
Yeah, that's come
So
up
I'll be out
before, we talked about.
$75.
But
Right.
y'all do, seriously,
We're just,
you do a lot.
all the record businesses here, I mean, they're just cleaning up.
They
you
do
know?
it at their own expense,
Yeah.
yes.
I gotta pay for the diesel, the tow trucks when they break down, and I don't get that money back.
The mayor, getting back to what Hardy asked about, the city does not have the administrative capacity to administer these ordinances if they're adopted.
Not as of today.
And that may require more than one person. I mean, it requires some thought.
Well, more to the point, you can't cover the existing ordinances, not to mention the potential new ones.
And I think we could do it the right way. We go over there and we see, you know, like yard or property that's dirty, hey, you know what, we're gonna clean it up for you, you know, and if we sell the metal, we're gonna give you the money. They're gonna go like, oh, yeah, go ahead and do that.
Or they're gonna go get off my property and leave me alone.
Hell no, we speak to them, you know, right way, I don't think they'll do that. I'm willing to do that. I got a lot of work, but I'm willing to do that.
Mayor, but again, not to get too far off track, but in the past, there have been volunteers and businesses that offer their equipment and gone out and cleaned these awful messes. And guess what? 6 months later, there was another awful mess. And volunteers stopped saying, yeah, they just said, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Well, because they have options and they'll sell the junk cars and then they go over there and take them to their properties. That's what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, you just shuffling stuff around.
That's it. That's
Just-
it.
Yeah, one party down to another right now.
Well, and to speak to that, there's an ordinance that's being proposed that will address that.
As a process.
I think what the city does, they put those cars online and they're not here anymore. I mean, y'all sell them out of town, the cars, right? Auction
A lot of
cars. Most of them.
The ones that go on.
Yeah, most of them.
Public hearing dates. Public hearing dates, we want to do that. Our meeting in August.
But they don't have money, is that actually right? Yeah, I'm not even gonna hold $15,000 for
Our meeting in August is 11.
Huh. That's interesting.
We'll be meeting
Seems like there's an issue with whoever the allocator of funds is. Who's the allocator of all the funds of this?
Yeah.
Who holds the position of the fund allocation specifically?
Like the budget?
Yeah.
Council approves the budget.
But it's like a collective, everybody agrees?
Yeah, that's how we do it. We all sit around a table and just come up with it.
So, I was curious, I saw, a data sheet of the county's expenditures. And I was curious if I could find a data sheet of the city's expenditures,
As far as the budget,
as far as what was spent, yeah.
customarily, the budget is loaded online too. I think the 25 was on there.
Are you talking about the budget?
Yes.
Customarily, it's on the, webpage,
On the Junction City webpage?
yeah.
So, was last year's on there maybe then?
Last year's is on there.
And is it the
So-
same one as the county and city?
No.
Are they together?
No, they're
So they are
separate.
We're
separate?
different.
It's under links, the very top link under links.
Okay.
So public hearing dates?
We're gonna
Good for you kids. Sorry,
have
we're never gonna get to
time
this
here in the
agenda.
next meeting.
Hmm.
I think it's,
To start it off with. People are gonna wanna talk about it anyway.
yeah.
Might as well make it a public hearing. Right? Then how about the first 30 minutes of the next regularly scheduled meeting?
On the 11th?
On the 11th?
How
I
about
have a feeling it's gonna be longer than 30 minutes.
Well, it might be, the folks that have comments about it will be doing us a huge favor to submit your proposed changes in writing.
Yes.
Okay.
And in advance would even be better.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, but we need the final draft done, because, you know,
There's, you're not gonna notice the difference in what you have and what's the final draft as it is today.
well,
Yeah, this is what we have, I mean, what,
Council, can I make a recommendation?
Yes, please.
I would allocate more time than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me a second. And it may be best to not put it on, in my experience, it may be best not to put it on a regular council agenda, cause then you will be here all night with sleeping bags. I think the first 20 to 15 minutes should probably be a presentation from the committee, and my team that helped put it together to give a summary of everything that's being proposed. And then I quickly run away before I get beat up. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. All of this is put together to give a framework for the community and the committee to put together their thoughts and actions to move forward for something that fits the city of Junction and its culture and its community. So I would think, I would allocate about 15 to 20 minutes for the committee to present the work and effort and the involvement that's taking place. Because there's a lot of history with the committee and effort that was put together, that the community may not be aware about.
Yeah, the survey and all that.
Long-winded way to say 30 minutes might be a little too short for us to give that history and the background and effort that went into it, because there was community involvement in the process.
Well, maybe what we do then is do that, and then we, accept proposed changes before the
So
actual
when's the
public hearing.
soonest that your team could do that?
If you allow me, give me till tomorrow, and I can work together with my team to put together an agenda and maybe some time on what we were thinking, what that schedule will look like, where we can send that to Garvine to then distribute to the council to put together maybe a special session or a workshop for that. And so give y'all a chance to get your calendars, work calendars, school calendars, whatever that may be, set aside time.
So we need a special session to set public hearing dates.
Do you?
Well,
Because do they have to be?
Public
voted on
hearing,
at
I
the
thought
council?
a public hearing may just need to be published within a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
And advertising.
by the time we get it done, it's gonna be, 3 business days.
So we don't have to vote on it today, we'll get dates and it'll be posted on your team.
And it'd be great if you could do that presentation maybe on the 11th of
Okay.
August. And then maybe after that, we,
have the public.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
cause I
As a
really
call.
need to know, cause I think I know, but I may not know what I'm reading from here.
They've done a couple of these
Clarifications.
public formats, and they tend to go long, they tend to be dynamic and have good involvement. So I could put together an agenda on that we followed in the past, and we kind of try to say introductions, 5 minutes, history and background, 10 minutes, major changes, 15, and then it's pretty much open floor, and there's a format on how we encourage public involvement and still keep order.
Okay.
And Mayor, based on past experiences, I believe with something this controversial, you need to allocate a specific amount of time for the public hearing and allow at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't take that long, that's fine, but if it comes to 2 hours, you can close the hearing off.
What do you guys think about on the 11th, if I limit our regular agenda till we can do it in less than an hour? And then at 6:30, instead of 5:30, at 6:30, we'll have the public hearing for 2 hours.
I just think it kind of gives injustice to our next month's meeting though, could we not do them on separate days?
We can.
If
I
I,
really wanna know what, I
Just-
wanna know these changes before we go into a public
Yes.
hearing.
Yeah, I
Yes,
don't know
yes.
the need before we're accountable for answering for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Because in fairness to all, if I make comments to the draft that I have from 2 weeks ago, they're gonna be locked. And if you guys have already said that's all baloney, we don't want it, it makes no sense. So my suggestion would be that 2 weeks in advance of whenever this meeting is scheduled, post a PDF of all the changes as they are that day. So people can have a chance to look at it, because there's probably 100 pages of these things. And you can't dig through it in 2 or 3 days.
And Jonathan already said they were gonna do summaries that would be helpful for
Yeah,
the public.
I know we've done it, and Doug, I know we've done it, so let me just have that resent, so it's back on top of everyone's inbox. And then if we need to, I guess we can't have all the council together, but we can at least funnel the information to you and Garvine, and then have y'all share that with the council.
And Mayor, summary in bullet format of the major changes that will help you conduct what is going to be a difficult hearing. Without that,
It'll go wild.
no one's gonna follow it.
Yeah. I think, Jonathan, too, what has been posted up to now includes a bunch of existing ordinances. So maybe if we can get a version that's pared down to just proposed changes, that, I mean, that'd be a lot less reading.
I agree.
Because a lot of these are new.
Yeah, the copy I initially got was all black and white, so second copy had
Yeah, it was
changes
too.
that
Yeah, we
were
did
it,
too.
so you
It was
can
the
at least see.
My understanding was that we can't have any water coolers either.
No, you can have water coolers, but
What did it say there or something about water coolers?
it says it has to be, the runoff has to be plugged in. You can have water coolers, but the commercial ones can't just be running into the street. It has to be plugged in.
To the drain. The
There's a
drain.
second part to that sentence, and a lot of people got hung up on the first part of it.
But it shouldn't be running off anyway.
Right.
I mean, that's, people put floats and stuff, so they don't waste water. When it evaporates the water, it just adds the water that evaporates. Shouldn't be any type of, I mean, that's.
It's hard for the officer doing that.
So do we need a name?
Here, sir.
Mondays are really hard. So Wednesday or Thursday? What would be a better day? Arthur, better day for you other than Mondays to meet. All right, you can do whatever you want, all right. Okay, Doug, you have
Flexible for that.
flexible too?
After school.
After school? How about Thursday?
I can't just work you, but I can do the
I was wondering if they were just saying you can come and hear me.
How about the seventh?
Do city council early.
Do city council early. And do the public on the, or the Q&A or something. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we're almost done.
So we would meet with Ardura and everything on the seventh, and then come back and do a 2-hour meeting with the public. City
The public forum will start at 5:30, since we don't have the agenda to go through. And I think we can get here.
Now, that's long enough for people who show up at 6:30.
Right.
You'll participate.
So it's city council, no, 7th is city council meeting, and we're gonna meet with her. And then the 11th, which would be city council meeting, will be the public forum, both at 5:30.
And I guess that's provided they are available to me.
Are y'all available Thursday the 7th?
You'll have to.
I mean, you're gonna have to get back to us.
Yeah, we can do that. But we don't have to vote on it.
Make it happen.
No, no. But we will have our regular agenda items to vote on.
So just let me know when you want me to be here.
So, what did you decide, Russell?
We're moving the city council date to allow
Can you
more
word that
time
in the
for
form of a
public.
motion, please?
Does it have to be voted on?
All right. What we decided is that we're going to have our next, the August council meeting on the 7th. And we're gonna
If
ask
Ardura can be
Ardura,
there.
if Ardura can be there, we ask Ardura to be there to give us the presentation on
On
the
the 7th.
changes.
On the 7th.
On the 7th.
We'll make it happen.
We will, the public will be invited to this meeting, but, you know, it's not gonna be a public hearing.
So Mayor, did you say the regular monthly meeting will be held on the 7th instead of the 11th?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then the 11th is the public one?
And then the 11th, we'll have our first public hearing to discuss.
Assuming Ardura can meet and accommodate that.
Right. This is all contingent upon Ardura's
Yes.
accepting our
We'll make it happen. But I will still send over an agenda that we typically see most communities will follow during these
Yeah,
things. That
we'd
we
like to
can-
post it, I'd
to
like to
give
see
some
it posted
perspective.
several days in advance.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I don't wanna be difficult, but if you're changing your regular monthly meeting date, you don't need a vote to do that, I believe. just can't willy-nilly change your regular monthly meeting day.
I'll make a motion to.
Besides, I'm busy on the 7th.
Regular scheduled second Monday meeting to August 7th to allow space and time for the public hearing on Monday.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Are each of the ordinances gonna be discussed and decided then? Are they one by one, or is this just, but in the public hearing, will anything change, or are we just gonna talk about it?
So it gives the option for the public to like recommend changes and concerns, and then the committee will meet and decide whether to make those changes, and then a second public hearing is made for the same thing. So it gives a chance for the public to come, then make those changes, come back to you for you to hear it again.
So if you suggested changes and then they weren't incorporated, it would get caught at the second public hearing.
Okay.
You know, and then you could ask why or why not, those were included.
Okay, thank you.
It would be a mistake, or maybe, we'll see how it all works.
Next on the agenda is discussion of possible action approving the job description for a public works director. Pages 48 and 49 of your packet, we have that job description. It would not, I wouldn't necessarily ask for word approval, because like every time the word town is used in there, I prefer to use the word city. Since that's what we're called. But I do like, I like in general what it says, you know, about the,
I'm kind of concerned about.
maintenance building, maintenance program, solid waste, those, I mean, it really covers exactly what I think.
And this is a combination of 4 descriptions that we voted on 2 months ago.
No, it's just the one.
Just the one?
Now, looks a little bit different because I used the same format that we had for the, city managers and the public works descriptions. So, on first glance, it looks a little bit different, but the text is, almost verbatim from the one that we approved, with the exception of, I changed the state of Maine to the state of Texas for the driver's license. And I got a comment from, Tammy Molina, that her comment to this would be that we also include in there the, task of performing annual evaluations. I'll read it to you so that I get it right.
So we have some semblance of a merit system.
Yearly evaluations with the ability to create an employee development plan.
Do most cities have evaluations of their personnel? Do you know?
I don't know, but I've got, I got 40 years with an employer that did. I think there's a lot,
With the city?
lot of merit to it. The city could do it. I don't know if there's.
I mean, do other cities do this?
I don't work for other cities. I think it's a great tool. It holds the supervisors and managers responsible for having a conversation that they may or may not have otherwise. And, I think there's a merit to it. Plus it gives you a tool to decide the best way to spend your money.
And if you ever have to make any kind of changes to your organization, it's a tool for that too.
Yeah.
So do you need a motion to approve this job description with Tammy Molina's additions? Because I know we already voted on using this one, so.
But you wouldn't want to do evaluations just for public works, would you?
No.
You would want it to be across.
That's
all
probably
cities.
something that should be on all.
Across all
But
cities.
also on
But they did add this one as one of the clauses. And I agree with the first one. As we approve those. And then of course, just changing it to be more like city. That's just.
We, so I would move that we table this item and then the changes in the, description of the entities to be changed from town to city, and that we add, the provision for, annual evaluations and then reconsider.
So another discussion point I wanna talk about is this, four-year college degree. I mean, obviously, being Junction, I would hate to exclude a really capable candidate that didn't have one.
Yeah, I very much agree and think that we could write something that would take into account experience.
That experience could count as for that.
Right, I also think that something that would be beneficial would be somebody who has experience in maybe not necessarily operating heavy equipment, but have knowledge of how heavy equipment is utilized.
Sometimes we get people that retire here that, maybe have a lot of experience, but they may have gotten hired at a time when.
I'd be happy to take a crack at that too.
I think we discussed that in that it would say the degree or experience. but
We
didn't know that.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the city manager description, and we actually made that change in there too.
Okay.
So we just
Not
put
on
that
the-
in, put that in here, okay.
Okay.
What is a minimum amount of experience to qualify?
I had a world history teacher tell me read newspaper for 4 years.
Yeah, you're reading that plan, you know exactly what to say. Okay.
So Doug's gonna make those changes?
Look at it the next meeting. Let's see, switch that around, public hearings, we got it done, no description, special election. So, right now we have executive session.
Are we doing the
Strategy.
Strategy for what is that?
city manager?
Number 11.
Oh, 11. Discussion and possible action concerning strategy for advertising, interviewing, and hiring a city manager.
We don't have to wait on Doug.
And we don't have it in our budget right now. Honestly, I think that's something to discuss when we start discussing budgets.
Wait, so just to clarify, there's not a budget for a city manager, but there's $115,000 for tourism?
How that money is allocated is very, like, we can't touch tourism board money or EDC money.
Huh. I was just
It's a state
curious.
regulation.
I was just curious.
We can't dip into that.
Josh, can I
We
see that,
occasionally
like,
can dip into
what those
EDC
quotes
funds, but
look
it's
like? I'm
very
just
specific
curious.
reasons. A lot of that's funded from sales tax.
Like a website?
Or hotel hot tax, sorry.
Yeah, tourism hot tax, the legislature gives them very strict rules on how they can spend it. And unfortunately, it can't be used on public infrastructure. And I say that
But
seriously,
those
unfortunately.
protections are there for a reason, to make sure that they can have their funding and a city can't just take all their funding to use for stuff.
Basically called heads in beds. If you're not putting visitors in town, you don't get to spend the money.
How do we tell who puts visitors in town?
Right.
That's the
Tourism
question.
If you'd like to come to a tourism board meeting.
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What time? Noon? Oh.
Middle of the day,
During work?
during work.
So
Well,
Doug,
it's my
we started discussion and possible
Oh, I don't
action
get those.
concerning strategy for
Yeah, same.
advertising.
But,
interviewing,
no, I hear you, and I
and
might actually be able to try to just skip out and come over here, cause that's interesting.
I kind of think TML probably has some resources that we could borrow from, and I'd be glad to look into that. They may have a bulletin board or something like that, but I didn't really know if we wanted to get the cart ahead of the horse as far as with the budget coming up.
You're talking city manager now?
So can I make a motion to table it until we've had budget talks?
Motion made to table it till we have budget talks.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Okay, we'll go wait a while. Thank you. Next on the agenda is regarding park, street, and water personnel. And this part of the meeting is to discuss personnel matters, which under section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code allows us to go into executive session to protect the privacy of those discussions. So,
Mayor, do you anticipate taking any action after executive session, do you know? I mean, I asked people to hang around or.
Yeah, no, I do not anticipate there being any action by the council that would be of any merit whatsoever.
So no vote will be taken on this matter after the executive session?
I would seriously doubt it.
We can make sure that there's not.
Okay, well, I mean, there's no use to hang around then, just come.
Right.
And one more question, budget workshops will be held,
I think we're gonna have to get started in August to meet some of the deadlines that they have.
yeah, that's why I was asking.
We were a little late last year, and so we wanna make sure to get ahead of it this year.
And has the CAD given you a preliminary, assessment of property values for
Yes,
this year?
I got one yesterday, I believe.
Okay, we would ask everybody to leave the room. We're gonna go into executive session.
Yes, careful going back.